What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Foam Finger. After our long little break for the holidays, we are back now.
It was a nice breakdown.
It was a nice break. I got a new mic, which I'm using currently. Got a little penny board.
Yeah.
But today, we are talking to our buddy Chris Smith about
Hello.
some of our favorite and most disappointing moments of the year. If you have never listened to the Foam Finger, this is your favorite podcast to listen to all of your sports. But let's get into it. Chris, if you would like to introduce yourself a little bit for the
Hello.
audience.
I'm Chris. I go to the same college as these fools. And they just invited me on today, so I decided to show up.
So, to get into it, I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to start disappointing. The most disappointing not moment, but thing in sports for 2021 was the Detroit Pistons for me.
Really? Why the Pistons?
Not one of it's one of my most disappointing. Mainly just because
I mean, you're big into the NBA, so yeah, it makes sense.
Previous season, like right after the bubble, no one was in the stands. That's like last season. I saw a lot of improvement to people like Saddiq Bey, like Sebastian knows who I'm talking about. Saddiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart, Jeremy Grant, and this year when we drafted Cade Cunningham, Cade's been great. Like he's not a bust when everybody thinks he is. He's not a bust, but their just production is just horrible. They have won 7 games, and they are just. I love the Pistons. I met Saddiq Bey with these two. I'm just a little disappointed with how this year's going. But hey, number 1 overall pick again this year. Who knows?
Is that I see? I don't pay attention to the rankings right now. Are they still like bottom?
They're last in the East.
They're last in the East. Is there a team in the West worse than them?
No, we are the worst
team in the NBA. Okay. Well, I mean that. See, the one thing I don't like about the NBA is like to get the first pick, you got to go through like that lottery thing or whatever. But
wait a minute, news. We are second to last in the NBA.
Second to last in the NBA.
We are 2 games above. We are 7-30 right now, and the Magic are 7-32.
But yeah. So when you say Cade Cunningham's not like a bust, like I mean he's not a bust. Like obviously he's going to be valuable for the Pistons in years to come and whatnot. But like the one thing that I wanted them to personally take Jalen Green because
he's actually terrible. He's
really.
Oh, if you watch he's not terrible. He's a good athlete, but there's just like one little thing, like it's just his athleticism that it's just eye grabbing. I mean, being athletic, being able to dunk, I mean that's cool, but he is by no means the same playmaker as Cade. Cade is definitely the better player. After he's like the third best. He's one of the best rookies this year, 100%. Like Evan Mobley,
yeah.
Franz Wagner.
I saw a thing on Instagram.
Barnes.
It was Scotty Barnes,
Evan Mobley,
Cade Cunningham, and Jalen Green all in the talks for rookie of the year.
Franz Wagner, he dropped like 60 not that was in fantasy. He dropped 60 points in fantasy, but he dropped like 38 on the Bucks.
Okay.
So that boosted him up. But I still think Cade could go down. I mean, he's dropping like 20, 30 points every game.
Yeah.
He's had like 2 pretty bad games, but that was like at the beginning of the season, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know he started off pretty slow, and everybody was.
He didn't have a preseason. He was injured.
Yeah.
So everybody goes like, oh, he's gonna be bad. I mean, you just got to give the kid time. He's 20 years old. He's the same age as me.
Yeah, they're not even at the All-Star break yet, so I still think it's like too early, I guess, for like the whole bust conversation and what.
Oh no, 100%. But at this rate, it's almost definite. This guy's dropping 30, 10, and 2. So
yeah, it's not bad.
It's like 4 on average, but.
I mean, it's just and like with the Pistons, they're just so young.
Oh yeah, that's the best part. That's like the best part. It's disappointing to see them lose, but that's like the best part of what they're going through right now is just that they're so young and there's so much. Like Saddiq Bey is like easily one of their best players currently on the team, and he just had a game winner against San Antonio.
Yeah,
like buzzer beater. Like this kid is great. Sorry, Chris, I know you're from Texas, but
Yeah, that kind of stings.
Yeah, big.
How are the
guy.
Spurs doing?
Spurs? I think
I haven't paid attention to the NBA in years.
I'm gonna check for you. The Spurs are 15 and 23.
So they aren't doing too good either.
They're ranked 11th in the West out of 15. So I mean,
yeah, they
it's just they don't have anybody. Nobody really wants to go to
they
San
don't have
Antonio.
any. Yeah.
I mean, Kawhi left. After Kawhi left, after Kawhi left and Tim Duncan retired, it's kind of
Once Tim Duncan retired, that's kind of when I stopped paying attention, just because the skill level in the team just died down so much because he was so important.
Oh, I mean,
as a leader on and off.
I mean, Kawhi's not that important on the Clippers, but
yeah, isn't he still injured?
Him and Paul George are injured right now. Paul George has a torn ligament right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I have him on my fantasy team, and it's kind of disappointing.
I have
like 7 people out.
I haven't paid attention to fantasy basketball in forever.
But if we want to,
I have not checked this since.
I'm
October.
destroying you right now. I can tell you that.
Yeah, no, I haven't checked it since October.
Yeah, I'm on a 5-game win streak. Let's go.
I keep forgetting I have it on my phone.
Hey, we're over with fantasy football, so you're more than welcome to.
Yeah,
but
fantasy
if we want to move on to maybe a more favorable moment of the year.
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, one of my favorite moments of the year, which, I mean, shouldn't have even happened in 2021, it should have happened in 2020, was obviously the Summer Games of the Olympics over in Tokyo this year. A lot of people were wondering if Tokyo was even going to host it in the early parts of 2020, and then they postponed it and everything. And then they were wondering if they were going to host it in 2021, or if they were going to have to move the games and whatnot. And then, I mean, so much drama. I mean, not really drama, but so much just in the Olympics happens every 4 years, and that's why so many people watch it. So I'd say one of my favorite moments in 2021 just has to be the Olympics. And I mean, it's the first year they added skateboarding into it.
Oh, I loved it. I mean, pretty new skateboarder.
Yeah.
I know 2 tricks. But, I mean, I think that was... I hope they keep it. I really enjoyed it. Nyjah Houston, sorry. You were kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there was like a 15-year-old girl just skateboarding from, like...
Japan.
Yeah,
there was also a girl from Australia. I know that.
It was a girl from Brazil.
That's what it was.
Didn't those 2 girls like win medals?
Yeah, the girl from Japan won, and the girl from...
That's the crazy part about skateboarding, because everybody's like, most people start so young.
Yeah.
And they become so good so fast. So
yeah,
I think that's like I think that's one of my favorite parts of the Olympics this year.
Honestly, I was pretty excited that they added a sport like skateboarding, because I'm into a bunch of sports like the X Games, and it's just so interesting.
Surfing was in it too.
Yeah,
they added so many sports that weren't originally a part of it.
I mean, that's usually what happens every year. They usually mix and match.
I wouldn't say it's every year, but like every now and then,
most years they
add something, take something out.
But I just wasn't expecting them to add something like skateboarding to the Olympics.
Bro, you want to hear something crazy about the Olympics? Some person told me that I watched a video that some person said they want. It was like a weird sport for the winter. Like, it doesn't make sense for it to be the Winter Olympics. What was it? Bowling. It was bowling for the Winter Olympics. Like, that doesn't make sense to put in the Winter Olympics.
I would put that in the summer if I was going to put that
exactly.
anything.
Like, I mean, I don't really know, because I mean, it's just inside.
Most Winter Olympic sports relate to snow and ice. Like,
yeah, that like I get that makes sense and everything. But I mean,
why would you like?
I don't know.
I mean, no offense, I don't really.
But where would you really put bowling? Because the Summer Olympics are like most of that's outside, other than like swimming, unless it's a nice area.
Archery in there. Bowling makes sense way more in the Summer Olympics than it does.
Archery and some of the shooting sports are inside.
No, none of them are inside.
It's the same. I thought most of them were out. And track and field's outside.
I thought that there was indoor archery.
No.
I thought.
Oh, what about fencing? Fencing is inside.
Fencing's inside. Gymnastics are inside. Yeah.
Wrestling's inside.
I don't know. Placing sports, I guess, just in the Olympic.
It's tough.
Field is weird, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, even with that, like all of us being swimmers, Caleb Dressel this year dominated the Olympic Games.
Yeah, that was really fun to watch.
And I mean, the U.S. Everybody was thinking that they were going to kind of not do so well as years prior. They didn't have Lochte this year because he's just old and not really fast anymore. Phelps retired, and so everybody was thinking that like the big names for the USA, like other than Caleb Dressel, like
Michael Andrew,
first
Olympics. Didn't he win a? Did he win a medal?
He won a gold medal in a relay.
Okay.
That's still really good.
And then
I mean,
they had a bunch of like younger collegiate swimmers and everything, and it wasn't the Michael Phelps swim team that everybody was used to. So people were thinking that they were going to struggle, but I think they still did. The U.S. did pretty dominant.
Most. I thought the U.S. like when we were mentioning skateboarding, I thought the USA was going to be way better. I think we got silver, but I mean that's still good.
Yeah,
but,
Jagger.
I think I forgot who won. He's from Japan, but I forgot who won. But because like we had an all-star team of just USA skateboarders, and just like really, skateboarding kind of started in the USA, like out in California. So I just expected kind of just the birthplace of skateboarding is gonna win, of course, but
yeah, but it's also cool that like the first place to have skateboarding with the first Olympic event was in Japan.
I think it's also like stuff like that. It shows like how widespread like surfing and skateboarding and stuff like action sports gone, and I think that's one of the best parts about the Olympics, just how big these sports like judo and archery and skeet shooting, like Chris mentioned. I think it's just that's like the beauty of the Olympics.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much like coverage that goes on at every Olympics, whether it be the winter or summer games, that just make the Olympics so like interesting to watch. Like all of that we've already talked about that happened at the Olympic Games this year, and then the whole Simone Biles and not competing because of mental health, and she like couldn't tell where she was in the air and whatnot, and
there were a bunch of people ragging on her for that too.
There was a bunch of people ragging on her online.
I know how you said that like people rag on that, but I think just now today like more people are like, oh, you need to take that time off.
It's good to see. It's good to see people caring about their mind and not just going to win and just dominate competitions and everything. Like if you're not in it and you're not okay to do it, then like you don't have to do it.
Well, talking about mental health and Olympic athletes, Michael Phelps, he actually started a big organization for helping athletes, especially young athletes, with mental health issues.
And I know addressing those. I know Dak Prescott, like your Cowboys. He has one because I think his brother committed suicide.
Yeah,
last year. Was it last year?
I don't know when it was, but
it's got rest in peace. But I'm glad Dak's definitely using that as a positive. But speaking about Dak Prescott, I know you have a little bit.
Yeah, probably one of my favorite moments is Dak Prescott's comeback in 2021. Going, what was it? It is 10.
We're going into week 18.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it is like
you guys won the North or the East. Yeah. Excuse me.
I'm trying to remember what the exact record was.
I can get it for you real quick.
Yeah. But he's been playing amazingly with the Cowboys.
Yeah, Dak's. I think that he'd win comeback player of the year.
Zeke as well. 11-5. Zeke as well. Zeke has also been performing really well.
The entire Cowboys have been performing.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I don't like the Cowboys like fan base, like sorry, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Parsons, I hope that he gets Rookie Player of the Year or something.
He's gonna get Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
that's what he's gonna get.
Yeah, I hope that he gets that.
There's like really no competition at all. I mean, he's in consideration for Defensive Player.
Yeah, like, he's insanely productive on the on the ball.
I mean, he was good. He was one of the best picks I think Dallas has had in the previous few years.
Yeah.
Speaking about comeback player of the year, Joe Burrow and Dak Prescott just with the sports betting, you can look at the exact same odds. It's both -110. So they both have equal odds right now to win comeback player of the year. So I thought that was
What was Joe Burrow's injury?
Towards
it's
ACL.
towards ACL.
Oh dang!
Yeah, so
Both
very serious
One
injuries. And coming
snaps his
back.
leg, the other one
Tore his leg.
tore his leg.
Towards ACL. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really know who's gonna win that either because like both guys
Both are
have
not playing next
came
week.
back and are playing phenomenal. I mean, if anything, Joe Burrow's probably had to overcome a little bit more just because him being on the Bengals and Dak being on the Cowboys. Like the Cowboys are one of the more wealthy organizations in all of football,
Yeah.
and the Bengals literally are not. They've practiced under highways. They used to not have facilities. Like,
Oh yeah. I mean,
I feel
especially
like
when Joe Burrow gets his college teammate. I mean, that helps.
I mean, yeah, that obviously helps that you already have that connection and everything. But like, I'm talking just like to overcome the actual injury itself and come back and like be ready to play and then just dominate this year so far.
I mean, I think talking about like surprising moments of the year were the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah,
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. No one expected that.
they were projected like 6 wins and at the bottom of the North.
But they've
A lot of
never.
people only predicted like 3 wins.
Yeah, but they've never been actually truly great like this, have they?
They've been to a couple.
They've been
Super
all
Bowls.
right.
I mean, they like first few Super Bowls.
Yeah,
I
but
think
how long
they
ago
were-
was that? That was a long
I-
time ago.
I don't have it off the top. of
That,
my
that
head,
was
but-
like before we were born.
I mean, yeah, but like
Yeah.
Cincinnati has been to the playoffs and been to like they
I mean,
have been
yeah,
a good
but
team before.
In like recent history, they haven't been.
Like they have had like some of the best players to come out. Like Anthony Munoz, like one of the best O linemen in history, came from
Yeah, I guess the
Cincinnati.
correct way for me to
Carson Palmer, one of
The-
greats in quarterbacks.
the correct way for me to reword that would be in recent history they haven't been great.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
when you have,
Yeah.
I mean Andy Dalton's doing pretty decent on the Bears, but like when you have Andy Dalton leading the Cincinnati Bengals, who also don't have anybody, and Ocho Cinco retires, and it just doesn't help. But
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what the Bengals do in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I love Joe Burrow. I'm a Joe Burrow fan, girl. I like LSU, so I'm excited. I'm excited for them.
Yeah, I would like to see the Bengals make it to Super Bowl. That would be a cool Super Bowl because I just haven't seen them go there yet.
Hey, I mean, who knows? I do not know who's gonna win anything this year.
The Bengals are rolling this year.
Like
Bengals versus Cowboys, that would be.
Like I don't even think the Packers have that great of a chance this year. Like
Uh.
even, as good as they have been, I don't think there is a definite favorite for me.
Well, even right now with the Packers and with everything going on with COVID and everything, Aaron Rodgers said that if they make it to the Super Bowl or whatever, that he's not going to play, and they're going to tell Jordan Love that he gets to start in the Super Bowl because of all the COVID.
Is that just a rumor or is that like a fact?
I saw that Pat McAfee and all them were talking about it.
Ooh,
Yeah,
and then they're pretty close with him.
yeah, and like because of all the COVID protocols and everything, that Aaron Rodgers, because it's going to be in LA, or they might change it to Dallas.
Yeah, they were talking about AT&T Stadium in Dallas. Yep.
And I think it was like something if it's in California, then he won't play or whatever. But I feel like if it's in Texas and everything, he'd still be good to.
We don't know yet. I mean, it's Omicron. I don't want to get too political here, but Omicron's just another. It's really just a flu. Like if you look at
Yeah,
the death
I don't know.
rates,
I'm not worried about it.
I'm not worried about it either. It's just a cold. Like that's really what it looks like. But speaking about football, one of my favorite moments is Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell has been he's been the spark that the Lions need. I mean, their record doesn't show that,
Yeah.
but like you didn't see that much coverage ever in the Lions until Dan Campbell came.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe when Megatron and Barry Sanders back in the day were on the team, but Dan Campbell literally has players wanting to run through walls for him. That's like an actual quote. I forgot who said that, but he was on ESPN talking to Stephen A. Smith and the First Take gang, and he was just like, I would run through a wall for Dan Campbell. And just like all the funny media stuff he's done, like wearing a racing helmet during a press conference saying he's going to bite kneecaps off. I mean, I think that's like like a lot of people compare him to this, but he's the Ted Lasso of NFL coaches.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a good coach just overall, and like you can tell that, like you said, the players want to be there and they want to like do good for him, and their record doesn't show it this year. The Lions this year have just been in so many close games and everything this year. They should have at least, like I said,
wins.
5-6 wins on the board.
I mean,
They've beat the best team in football, in my opinion, right now in the Arizona Cardinals. And
they almost beat the Ravens, which you can't really be mad about that
because of the field goal and everything. But they've also had so many close games like that, Vikings, tying with Pittsburgh, losing to the Vikings to a field goal, Ravens to a field goal.
So that's about 5 wins we would have had.
Yeah, because they got 2 right now already.
I don't think there was any.
Didn't y'all miss like
Bears
field goals
Bears on
those
Thanksgiving.
games?
Yeah, Bears on Thanksgiving lost to a field goal.
Didn't y'all miss field goals during those games as well?
Yeah, we missed a field goal to beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have beat Pittsburgh, but the kicker that we had shanked a kick, and then we just tied with Pittsburgh.
The Pittsburgh game was horrible in general.
Oh,
it was so
horrible.
bad.
It was a bad game.
The overtime was so hilariously bad. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard during an overtime game.
I'm just excited. I saw a quote from Woodward Sports. One of the guys said that in the first time since 1990, he trusts Brad Holmes, the GM, the new GM they appointed from LA. He trusts him to make the right choices. I mean, look at the things. Look at the picks we made.
Yeah.
Penei Sewell in the first round. Amon-Ra St. Brown in I believe the 4th round. And both of them, I mean, they're Amon-Ra St. Brown is talked about as like one of the best rookie receivers this year.
Yeah, Amon St. Brown has been a good pickup for the Lions alongside Penei Sewell and everything, but they also need to get better
defensively, 100%.
Better defensively, and they need to get better receivers too. They don't have any threats for the dog water quarterback we have in Jared Goff to do anything with.
Jared Goff has shown up in recent games, though.
Recent games he has. He's shown up a little bit.
Yeah, but consistency-wise, he's just not there.
I mean,
not at all. Not even close.
It's hard to be good on a bad team. It is hard. I mean,
Jared
Goff fit a system, and that's what a system quarterback does. I mean, Jared Goff is a good quarterback. He's in the NFL. But, I mean, when you get put in a situation like the Detroit Lions, it's hard to be successful at first. If you are surrounded by the right general managers and the right coaches, you can be successful. Matt Stafford was semi-successful in Detroit. I mean, he's been to playoff games. Frankly, he never won one, but he was semi-successful. He had players like Calvin Johnson that he made look really good. I mean, Calvin Johnson is great, and look what he's doing in LA. I mean, imagine if we had LA's team in Detroit. It's going to be the exact same thing. If we didn't have Matt Patricia as a coach, it would be the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
I mean, we were 11-5 like how many years ago with Jim Caldwell?
Yeah, and it's just, I guess you can say the luck of the Lions, or a Lions fans' luck. It's just something always has to happen to where they're not doing good. And then, I mean, even when we are doing good with Jim Caldwell, what happens? He
gets fired.
After
an 11-5 season. Like, what?
One of the best coaches that they've had in decades, and they just fire him
because it wasn't enough for the GM, right?
I don't remember.
The Fords.
Yeah,
the Fords. They need to sell the team.
I mean, they literally made Calvin Johnson pay like how many millions of dollars because he wanted to retire. But shout out Jim Caldwell. He is interviewing the Jaguars for the head coaching job. So, But moving on.
I think Harbaugh also got some interviews for the Jaguars.
I don't think he's leaving Michigan though.
I think he is.
You think so?
I think he'll leave.
I
hope he does.
I'd be surprised if he leaves, especially after this year.
I hope he does. I want him gone. I hate Jim Harbaugh.
Who knows? I mean, they got top 4. I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
Big
I'm happy.
Championship. I mean, that was a happy moment. But beating Ohio State, oh my God, that was a great moment.
See, I don't know. This year, I mean, like, obviously, the Michigan Wolverines and everything. They played good this whole year. But I want to say that U of M season this year was kind of more on my disappointing side. Like, that's a disappointment in
Really?
2021. Yeah, because like they played good, but when they played in games that mattered, they would barely win, and or they would lose. They lost the Michigan State game. That's a huge game every year. Obviously,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
they had
Rivalry games.
they had
are
a
always
30 not a 30-point lead. They were up what 14-30 or something like that.
It was something. I wish I could pull up the exact halftime score, but
Yeah, but at half they had 30 points, and then they end the game with 33 points. Like, they choke in the second halves of games, and they always just, like, the third quarter is the biggest struggle for U of M.
they struggle in very.
They struggle
games.
closing out games. That's why
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Like, I'm glad they beat Ohio State, obviously, but I'm surprised they did it. I didn't think they were going to do it. And going into the Georgia game,
I predicted it.
Remember,
Remember, I predicted very close to the exact score.
Yeah, your score
I was like
pretty close.
35-14, and they didn't even. They scored like 33. I was very close. I don't remember exactly what.
It was 42-27.
Oh, it was over, so I
Yeah.
was under. But I'm still happy I was very close to predicting it.
Fucking, it's just, and like, even they play good. They win the Big Ten. The Big Ten game that they won,
Absolutely demolished.
they demolished Iowa, and everybody thought that they should have been number one. I don't think they should have been number one. I think
You
Georgia.
literally said that he should be number one.
I
I
think-
remember you having this conversation. I mean, you said that.
Yeah,
they
in the
should be number
hotel.
one.
But then I thought about it. When we were going back from Carthage, because I said it in the hotel after that game, but Georgia is the number one team in the country. They're the best team in college football right now. They had a fluke game in the SEC championship against Nick Saban and the Crimson
Alabama.
Tide, and they always show up to play playoff ball. So it'll be interesting as to what happens Monday. But I think Georgia is going to come out and just steamroll them. Like, they got something to play
Hopefully.
for now.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I hope
I'm
they
rooting
do.
for him. I mean, go. I mean, I hate to say it, but go Dogs.
But I think it should have been Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Bama 3, Cincy 4. I think that's how it should have been. I think, or you can
Cincinnati was definitely
you can
overrated.
flip Bama for beating Georgia in the SEC championship, and put Michigan at 3 if you want. But I think Bama and Michigan should have played. I don't really know. And the college football playoff needs to expand.
They need to redo
to
their whole playoff
at least
thing.
8 teams. At least.
I think 6.
I think if you do 8 and you have 4 teams on each side of the bracket, that'd be perfectly fine. Or even people were throwing out that they do a 16-team playoff.
That's too much.
I mean, it's Division I football. There's so many Division I colleges, and there's so many colleges
That are good.
that are good. Like the 1 year University of Central Florida didn't get put in it, and they were what 14-0.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Chris, do you have any more? Or you haven't mentioned a disappointing thing? Do you have anything disappointing about this year?
Disappointing. I would probably say. Well, probably my least favorite moment and most disappointing moment in Zerline, the Cowboys kicker, was when he missed 2 field goals and an extra point to the Buccaneers, and that would have either tied or won us the game. So
That's just how football works, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's hard to beat Tom Brady.
Yeah, but it's disappointing whenever it's from field goals that could have been made
Tell me about
easily. And
Imagine being
Imagine
in
being
an
a
indoor
Lions
stadium.
fan.
Imagine being in an indoor stadium and can't make a field
yeah,
goal.
but Zerline, in my opinion, just hasn't.
Dude, he is Legatron. That man is Legatron.
I mean, Zerline can hit some pretty far kicks, but the consistency wise, he's missed 5 field goals and 5 extra points. That's quite.
I mean, that's pretty low for a
Yeah.
kicker.
I wouldn't say the extra points are low. I feel like a lot.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
actually,
still
5
not that high.
Yeah, but it affects each game because he would miss one each game, so it would just be so
Cowboys
much.
should have scored another touchdown.
They should have,
But
but that was pretty disappointing at times.
Happens. I mean, it's how football works. I mean, you just won the NFC East, so I'm
pretty happy.
I wouldn't
that.
complain anything.
No, I'm pretty happy about that.
Um,
I really hope that they make it all the way, but it's gonna be hard if they do.
Kind of keeping on the disappointing football train. One of my disappointing moments of the year was Julio Jones with the Titans.
Yeah,
he didn't perform.
I remember them signing him, and I was so hyped. I literally I got the text from Sebastian because I was at work and I didn't know. So Sebastian texted me and telling me that Julio was signed to the Titans, and I was so happy about it. But man, he was just so injured this entire year, and he didn't really neither AJ Brown nor Julio. AJ Brown had a good couple games, but Julio just disappointed me. I mean, hopefully he stays. I don't remember how long the contract was, but
I mean, they're the number 1 seed in the AFC right now.
And Derrick Henry's coming back.
Derrick Henry's coming back, and so is Julio Jones. They'll be both healthy for the playoffs.
So this is 2022. So I mean, I can't really talk about that just yet, but
fair.
I think these playoff games coming up should show what Julio will look like. I'm hoping Julio will stay on the team, and I'm hoping, God, it needs to happen. The Titans go to the Super Bowl this year, but man, Derrick Henry will help a lot. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry is phenomenal.
He's the best running back in the league.
A lot of people thought the Titans weren't going to be doing nearly as good as they did when Derrick Henry went out. Me being
one of them. And I did not think they were going to be doing this good.
So now with him coming back, I mean, they could start
steamroll the entire playoff.
But I mean, it is the NFL, and you never know. Patty Mahomes might want to play for another ring and then have Jackson Mahomes dance all over it.
Khalif Raymond literally tripped on the last play against the Ravens last year, and I was so mad. Dude, I'm telling you, and it was intercepted too. He tripped, and Ryan Tannehill threw it right to Marcus Peters. I was so mad about that, but Khalif Raymond's on the lines now, so congratulations. You get a tripper. Moving on to another sport, basketball. Well, we're kind of going back to basketball, but one of my favorite moments was the three-point record being finally broken by Steph Curry.
Watched it in Florida.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy. I mean,
in Madison Square Garden of all places. I mean, what better place to break it than there? So I think that was interesting. Ray Allen, Reggie Miller were there, both previous holders of the record. So it was. I think that whole thing was just. I mean, Steph was emotional. A lot of people in the stands were emotional. Spike Lee was there, and he was like, "Oh my God."
Spike Lee's at all.
I mean, yeah, but like
I'm
surprised he was like, "Oh yeah, you broke the record on my favorite team and lose."
Well, that's just a hype moment.
I mean, yeah, but
it's just basketball history. Like, it's kind of hype that your team's involved in it and everything. And I mean, it's Spike Lee. He's trying to just get his 15 seconds of fame wherever he can.
I mean, yeah, but I think that whole thing was just cool. I mean, you would always see, like, before the records. I mean, he's still breaking.
What was the record?
Like 2,700 and something.
My God.
Yeah, he's at like he's over 3,000 right now.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah. He's literally changed the game, which is another part of history.
Am I that far off? What is it?
I mean, I don't know what it is right now, but he's changed the game. So it's.
Oh yeah, he's over 3,000. Yeah, so he's at 3,012.
He could make 4,000 if he.
I was way off.
really wants to. I mean, just wants to lob him up, but he's had a pretty bad couple of games recently, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any more disappointing or? I have one more, but I want to let you guys go.
I don't. I mean, disappointing. I'd just say the biggest disappointing thing for me this year was the Dodgers. I thought they were gonna be a little bit better than what they were. They kind of were in second and third of the NLDS this year, or the NLDS, the NL West. They were second and third. They bounced back. They weren't really in first. I mean, they led in like the early parts of the season. Then you got more towards the All-Star break. They were second and third. still had star players all over the place. Then you get to past the All-Star break, the Padres start tanking. Then they're fighting second and first with the Giants. They end up getting behind the Giants by 1 game. So they got to play in the wild card and everything, and they almost lose that to St. Louis. Then they struggle against the Giants. I mean, they didn't really struggle against the Giants. That was a good series they had against the Giants in the NLCS or the NLDS. And then they played the Braves in the NLCS, and they didn't really perform that well. I mean, it wasn't a horrible series, but I mean, it could have gone better. They didn't really have their star players performing. Kirsch wasn't throwing, so their bullpen had to do some more work. But I just thought they were going to do better. I thought they were going to repeat the whole World Series champs again. But
speaking about baseball, it's kind of a mix between my favorite and disappointing moments of the year. Miguel Cabrera hitting his 500th home run.
I was about to mention that too.
I went to the last game against the Cleveland Guardians, as they're now called, to see. I was right behind the bullpen. I was getting ready to possibly catch the ball, and I'm just sitting there the entire time, whiff, out, whiff, out, whiff. I'm just like, really?
Yeah, my dad and my brother were at the same game. They were sitting over behind, I don't know what bullpen they were behind, but they were behind one of the bullpens, and they were just waiting to try and catch that ball. Those seats were so expensive, though, because everybody was trying to buy over in the left field behind the bullpen at Comerica.
But I think the best part of it, I mean, what also disappointed me is he did it the next game in Toronto.
Yeah, he did it the next game in Toronto with
was
nobody
the
there.
stadium packed when he did it?
No, it was empty. It was completely empty.
Yeah, in Toronto it was empty because of COVID.
Dang.
It was packed though.
I'm glad
Detroit
he
when
got
he was
it.
at $4.99. Yeah,
Dude, that would.
It was the highest attendance games the Tigers had all year.
One against
What
Cleveland.
was it, full?
No, when Miggy was almost at his 500, that was when Comerica was the most filled all year.
Oh, the one I was at?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Nobody really wants to watch the Tigers. They suck.
I mean, they're not that bad.
They weren't bad. They were really bad the year prior. That's why nobody wanted to watch them this year. And then now they're kind of picking up steam again.
Javier Baez and
Javi Baez and Rodriguez from the Red Sox that we just signed for 6 years or 5 years, whatever it was. And yeah, now we got Baez for 6, which kind of wanted Correa for 5 or 6 years, but
Correa's too expensive.
He was too expensive. He was looking for a long-term deal too. And whatever team picks him up is just going to have basically a Miguel Cabrera on their team in 7 years.
Yeah, so
It's just what it's going to be. So I'm glad they didn't take him. They got Javi Baez for the 6 years. They can trade him after 4 or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that contract isn't.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy.
So
it's good, because then they can still build around in other areas on the ball field and everything. And they've also picked up another good catcher, which I didn't know they were gonna pick up. I thought they were gonna pick up a better first baseman, but they might put Eric Haas at first base because he went back and forth and he bounced all over the place. He would play second and then right field and first, and he caught. And so,
just to give my closing remarks before we move on to hot takes and hot cakes. Definitely one of my favorite moments. It's a bunch of things that revolve around this, but the Detroit Red Wings. Oh, I am so happy to be a Red Wings fan right now. In the hunt for a playoff spot, 1 or 2 points behind Boston to keep that last spot in the East. So, I mean, I'm just happy you got players like Lucas Raymond and Mort Seider, both top 2 candidates for the Rookie of the Year Calder Trophy. So, I mean, it's nice. You got Alex Nedeljkovic that we stole from Carolina. He was also a Calder favorite last year for Rookie of the Year. As the Calder is the Rookie of the Year, I know you don't watch hockey that much, but
I mean, I figured.
You got last year we traded Anthony Mantha for Jakub Vrana, who there was multiple games last year. One against the Dallas Stars that I watched. Sorry, Chris, I hate the Dallas Stars, so that was a great game.
I don't care.
I know you don't watch hockey, but that's like my least favorite team in the NHL, just because they're rivals to the Red Wings. I mean, I don't like Chicago, but Dallas is my least favorite team in the NHL. So I was glad to see.
This man just hates Dallas.
No, I don't hate. Like, I like the Mavericks.
Fuck.
Mavericks are like my only likable team in Dallas. But I was happy to see Jakub Vrana, like, I think he scored 4 on his own against Dallas, so it was fun. Sadly, he's injured. He's coming back pretty soon, I know. But Steve Yzerman is an absolute freaking genius, man. I'm just so happy. But I think it's time to move into our second section. Hot cakes and... Or, excuse me. Wrong way. Hot takes and hot cakes.
You ready for this?
So, Chris...
Don't know what this is.
Well,
Oh, come on.
this is like our...
You don't listen to the podcast?
No.
Wow.
podcast anywhere you can find it. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
I don't have time to listen to podcasts.
Well,
Yeah,
you should,
well.
Chris, because you're about to be on an episode published
Yeah.
everywhere.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
But, Chris, in this section, we kind of talk really about our like unpopular opinions or stuff that... Or, honestly, yeah, exactly. Unpopular opinions that you have
Hot takes.
that we can debate on. Last episode with Coach Brock, we talked about how sneezing is overrated.
We talked about like
is a
with
hot dog a
Seth, is hot dog a
sandwich.
sandwich?
So,
Is a hot dog
Oh.
a sandwich? How we always have that debate. We did that with Seth.
Oh.
so yeah, if you wanna think for a little,
It's a
couple-
hamburger sandwich, though.
a hamburger is a sandwich,
Yeah.
Chris.
Okay. Just make sure y'all know.
What? But yeah, think about it real quick, and then we can continue. It doesn't have to be sports related, by the
Yeah,
way.
it doesn't have to be
But
sports.
as
It can be
you find
literally anything.
we're not live, so you can take your time.
Hmm
Ham and cheese sandwiches are overrated.
Like
Yeah.
like a lunch meat. Like
Yeah.
just like
Ham and cheese sandwich.
what?
It's
What a-
overrated.
Tell me you're not a turkey and cheese sandwich kind of guy.
I mean, I like turkey over ham, but like
No
I mean-
way.
I like turkey over ham.
What?
I'll eat a ham and cheese
I mean,
sandwich, but it's just so plain. I mean, it's good
He's
for
got a
go.
point.
It's just
He's really got a
but that's
point.
like saying you don't like a PB and J.
But PB&J
PB&J
has
has
flavor.
flavor. Ham and
Ham and
just
cheese.
Add
like,
some like Dijon mustard.
well, like what I like I like at least 2 different meats on my sandwich. That's the thing.
That's what she said.
I mean, I get that because I mean, like, if I want to throw another meat on, throw a little bit of salami on my
Yeah,
ham.
that's what I do.
Yeah,
But, like-
banging.
But
But, like, Chris-
then that ruins the point of it being a ham and cheese sandwich.
But like
I
Chris
mean,
is right. A
yeah.
ham and cheese sandwich is very overrated.
Nah, I love 'em.
Dude, turkey is better.
No, it's not.
Yes.
I want to say that.
No, turkey is
I
turkey
wanna
is
say
the best
that.
lunch meat.
No.
Turkey
Turkey
is not the best
Turkey
lunch
is the
meat.
best lunch
It's
meat.
No,
a good.
ham
it's
is
a
so
good-
much better.
It's a good lunch meat, but it's not the best.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
Ham
not.
is so much better.
Salami is the best. That's what I'm gonna say.
That's
fair.
fair. That's fair.
That's fair.
Salami's the best.
Salami's my second favorite.
But dude,
I can eat a pound of salami within a week.
but
I mean,
like Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But ham is so much better than turkey. Turkey's dry and
I listen.
Bah.
yeah, a good
I
good
like
turkey.
turkey.
Good turkey is good turkey.
I'd rather
but
eat chicken on a sandwich than turkey.
No.
Nah.
No. Buffalo
There's-
chicken
Unless
sandwich.
it's
Oh, okay, yeah, that is.
Unless it's like- yeah.
smacking.
unless it's like I don't know, like a regular chicken sandwich. Like,
But
that's
how would
fried,
you
but
spice up a ham and cheese sandwich?
You don't spice up sandwiches.
Dijon mustard,
period.
mayo, cheese, ham.
Like,
some
what are you
good
thinking
bread.
about putting on it? Paprika?
Bang.
Like, what
Yeah,
are you
but
thinking about?
Would you toast the bread? Like
Yeah.
Make a
Yeah,
grilled
you gotta
cheese ham
toast the bread.
sandwich.
Yeah. Throw some lettuce, tomato,
A grilled
mayo.
cheese a grilled cheese and ham sandwich. That bangs.
Dude, I mean,
That's not overrated.
for any
I will,
for any OC people that listen to the podcast, this could be a hot take for everybody at OC. The when the KC makes the grilled
Oh.
cheese with tomato, bacon, and you don't like those, dude. So good.
No,
I haven't
So
tried it.
good,
I haven't
dude.
tried it.
So good.
The tomato. Whenever I've had it, the tomato's all kind of slimy and it's
It's
all.
a tomato.
It's the tomato.
No, but
Like,
it's-
what?
to me, it's not a good tomato.
What you're crazy? It's just a
'Cause it's
tomato and a
juicy
grilled
and
cheese with
slimy?
ham
No,
and
it's
bacon.
it's. I just don't like the way that they do it here.
It's so
Chris,
good.
you also like nitpick because the chicken doesn't
Chris
have enough
is the
salt.
biggest food critic
Oh
I've
my
ever
God,
met.
bro.
There's
It's
something
just
wrong with every meal
Dude, he like
eats.
looked.
No, dude, just from the KC.
Wasn't there one time like he
just
looked
from the
at
campus
Chris?
cafeteria?
Shh. But like, wasn't there one time he like freshman year he like looked at the like meatloaf and goes, "This doesn't have enough salt on it."
I
he
looked
literally
at
just
it.
looked at
No,
it.
I
and
didn't
just-
say that. I said this meatloaf looks dry as fuck.
Yeah, I remember he complained about it being dry as fuck. He just
Yeah.
the whole time is all he sat down and he like ate everything else except for his meal. He's like, this is just too dry. He's like, I can't even eat it. I hate this. I can't eat the food here.
Fuck this place, bro.
No,
they
see,
need some actual chefs here.
see, bro.
They do.
The chef this year is whipping it up. It's so
Yeah.
good. And that those ham, cheese, tomato sandwich things that he makes that are grilled, they're so good. Some tomato soup and everything. Everybody dogs on them and nobody gets them. OC is sleeping on those sandwiches.
Dude, they need to bring
good.
back the
They
orange
are not
chicken.
that good.
They're good.
They need to bring.
Anytime I've gotten it, the cheese
tomato
is not
slimy.
melted.
You
What?
just what?
That's crazy.
It's
No,
just-
they
it's just-
don't melt the quesadillas here.
They don't.
No, they don't.
But those
why I don't
sandwiches.
eat
there
Dude, some of
anymore.
the pizza combinations are insane on this thing.
Oh my god, dude! Remember the oranges on it?
The oranges on the pizza, dude. I have a video of Chris eating pizza with broccoli and hot dogs on it, dude.
There's
Are you sure it was
something-
broccoli
I must
or
have been
what?
under
Like,
the
Yes.
influence of
you
something.
know for a fact.
I,
it was
Yeah.
broccoli.
I have the
No,
pizza on
he
video.
has. He showed me. I don't remember it. I
It's-
must have been under the influence of something.
It was the middle of the day. You weren't. It was,
Dude, I must have been starving. Cause I would not eat that.
you did. You were munching that.
Did somebody
shit.
tell me to?
I don't know. I think
Somebody probably told me to.
I think somebody just was like, "Oh, there's pizza over there that looks weird," and you probably went and grabbed it and just started munching on it.
Oh,
It's so
yeah. It was probably not good. I probably didn't finish it.
Before we get
They're
too
better than
carried
those.
away with more food
Food.
talk, I think this is a good point to wrap up the episode. If you haven't already, be sure to follow us on all our socials. We have Instagram, TikTok, as I mentioned, a Facebook group. We have
Twitter.
Did I already mention YouTube? We have more. We have a ton of social media that you guys can interact with us. Everything, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter are all under foamfinger_pod. You can follow us on our group on Facebook. It's literally just called the Foam Finger Podcast. Follow us on YouTube, Foam Finger Podcast. And I already mentioned TikTok. I'm not going to say it again. But thank you all for listening. My name is Parker,
Sebastian.
Chris.
and you're listening to the Foam Finger.